In this video, we're going to cover tennis elbow and all the things that we can do to help recover. My name is John, and I'm a doctor of physical therapy. Now, my goal here is to give you everything you need to fix this on your own without needing to come into the clinic to see someone like me. Tennis elbow is an overuse injury of the wrist extensor muscles. Now, this doesn't only happen in tennis players. I've actually seen it more often in people who don't play tennis or any sort of racket sport. The first step to fixing this is removing or significantly reducing the painful activity. So because this is a tendon issue, if we continue to load the tendon in the painful manner, you will likely never get better and you'll end up with a chronic issue. Once we've removed the painful activity, we will then introduce a specific exercise to target this muscle and tendon. Now, the initial exercise should be isometric, where we load the muscle but we're not actually moving. From there, we can progress to a concentric and eccentric in a slow manner, and then from there you progress to a faster motion. We need to do high reps, and we need to make sure that we're not causing any pain during the activity. So don't think of this as strength training, think of it more so as loading the muscle and tendon so we can bring blood flow to the area, and then we can help facilitate healing. With a tendon issue such as this, what will happen over time is that the collagen fibers which make up the tendon become a little bit jumbled. In a normal healthy tendon, the collagen is all straight and linear. When they become all jumbled, the tendon becomes thicker, but it's actually weaker. In performing this exercise where we load the tendon, causing it to stretch out, we can help reorient these fibers to a more linear manner. Now, some things you definitely do not want to do with this is using a weight that is too heavy. Anything more than 5 pounds is probably unnecessary. You also will not want to progress very fast because this can cause additional issues. How I would approach this is starting with the isometric, do about 10 reps, hold for a couple seconds, and do that twice a day. From there, I would continue with the isometric and then work my way up until I'm doing 20 reps twice a day. Now, as long as this feels fine, I would then progress from the isometric to the concentric and eccentric activity, where we slowly move the wrist up and down with the weight. Because this is harder than the isometric, what you'll need to do is drop down the reps, somewhere around 15, and then work your way back up to 20 very slowly. And be very mindful of soreness in the elbow. If you have a muscle soreness day after, you need to give it another day before you try again. In addition to this specific exercise, what we can do is stretch these muscles in order to maintain flexibility, and this can also help reduce pain in some people. You can try massaging the area. You can do this both over the muscles of the forearm where you feel the pain, as well as over the lateral epicondyle where the tendons attach. You can find this by feeling for a bony prominence on the outside of the elbow. Icing the region is important if this is the first time you've ever had this pain, because that's when you're most likely to get swelling. And you can also try massaging the area with an ice cube if you want. Something we can do that many people don't think about is strengthen the muscles of the shoulder. The reason why this matters is because of the kinetic chain theory. So in general, if the proximal muscles, which are the muscles closer to the torso, are weak, then the forces applied to the body are transferred to a more distal segment, distal meaning farther away from the torso. So if the muscles of the shoulder and the scapula are weak, the elbow and wrist might need to compensate, which leads to more stress being placed at these joints. With this strengthening, I would include scapular muscles as well as rotator cuff exercises for the shoulder. Now, once everything is feeling better, and it will take several weeks to get to this point, we can reintroduce the initial painful activity. Now, you have to do this gradually, or you'll be stuck in the same boat you were when we first started. If the pain ever shows up again, it means you did too much. If you're having muscle soreness the day after, that's an indication that you need to be very careful and let the body heal itself before you try again. If you've tried everything we've talked about and it didn't seem to make much of a difference, then my suggestion would be to have dry needling done to the elbow. Personally, I've seen that this is very effective for pain relief as well as healing. I've seen this be very effective with pain relief as well as with promoting healing by bringing additional blood flow to the area. Now, unlike everything else we talked about, this is something that you probably shouldn't do to yourself, so you might need to seek out additional help.